couple new boxes here, mediums. We're going to be adding them on some of our other hives. 2 hives we're going to be moving. I've already, on our inner top covers, I've used this screen here, 1/8 inch hardware mesh. I tacked a piece on top on the inside of the hole in the top inner covers. So when I move the hives, they don't come out. You don't have to worry about blocking anything else, and you don't have to worry about predators getting in that way either, and you don't have to worry about your bees coming out and building burr comb on top of your outer cover, or your telescopic cover, whatever you're using. So I made these up. I looked at, they've got, and this is also for robbers in the fall. When you get real strong hives, they find a weak hive, they'll rob their honey from them. The weaker hive, they don't have enough bees to defend it. And also yellow jackets. We lost a hive last year to yellow jackets. They cleared it out fairly quickly. So with this, I took this screen mesh and I measured it. I just took one of my restrictors here, which we don't use that much anymore, but I took that to gauge my width, and I cut this piece, and then I just cut little slits along here so I can control how many I want to open or close. I'm going to put this one on tonight because I'm going to move a hive tomorrow. Once they're all in, I'll just push all these closed tonight. And they've got plenty of ventilation. I can move them over tonight. Once I got them moved over, I'll open these back up. That's a pretty strong hive, so I'll have most of these open back up. I'm not worried about anything robbing them or anything. They're very, very active, but I can pull them all up and leave them that way. And then this winter or this fall, if I see yellow jacket activity or anything else, I'll close them down. And then this winter, I'll definitely close them down. I want to leave it for ventilation, but I don't want any mice or anything getting in there either. So I'll leave one just open enough where, you know, the bees can come out on warm days and get water and clean out the hive, the things they do in the winter time. But we're going to do one for an 8 deep hive, an 8 frame hive. And what we tacked them on, I saw online they have these, they're called robber screens. It's a plastic screen you can buy, and it's got neat little doors and everything else on it. They're about $12 a piece, which I really, you know, plastic, how long is it going to last when it's really hot? I mean, even though it had holes, I don't like the fact that you really had no way to give them full access and ventilation. But I did like these that came with those. I saw that and I looked them up, got them on Amazon. They're push pins. They're metal push pins with aluminum tops on them. They're not plastic, so they're not going to degrade from the sun beating down on them every day. They're not going to crack and fall off. I kind of like that idea, and they push in really nicely. So we're going to do another one here real quick. Show you how easy this is. I want to take this. It's a good gauge right there. Don't need a measuring tape or anything like that. We've got a piece here that's just about the right size. First of all, is I'm going to cut my width. I'll cut it right here. I'm actually going to cut it next to that because this was just a little bit short. I'm just going to fold this over. A nice straight line. Bring it back. A 90-degree angle. It's kind of nice, easy to cut it with the tin snips that way. So just make a 90-degree angle so I have a line to follow. Because this is wavy, as you see, you're not going to be able to cut it like that. You need to follow a straight line for this to work. So some of this stuff, you'll get into areas of it where it's fairly straight. Some of it's really wavy. It is what it is. So we're going to take that and cut it. Let's see how it fits. That looks pretty good. So now I just want to make some cuts, so I got a little, so I can open this up wherever I want. Both these hives are pretty good, pretty strong hives. They're very active. So I'd rather just make these cuts now than do it later. It gives me an option. Like I said, they're both very active, so I don't want to restrict them a whole lot. But I want the option to close it if I move them, when I move them, and I want the option to close it later on. So I just want to do this all at one time, kind of have some forethought here. So then I just put that down there, and I'm just testing this. When I go out there, I'll take some of these push pins, and then I will simply put this in place. I'm going to do it during the day while a lot of forage bees are out. They're going to get a little upset, but it's better than trying to do it at night. I learned that the hard way. You get a light on these and do this at night, and I had them all over me, and they found their way in my suit, and they were stinging me and everything else. So, but I'm just going to take this, put it down, push it down against this. Whoops. And then I'll push them in. This is kind of moving, but it won't be out there. But I'll just go along there, and then I'll push them in all the way. I'm not going to push them in all the way here. I'm just pushing them in partially so you can see. And they push in really easy. You know, as you can see here. That was the other thing. The last time I tried this, I used a staple gun. Well, staple gun, the impact pisses the bees off. They don't like that a lot. That really alerts them, and they start marching out and see what's going on. And the staples, if they hit this, they bend, and then if you want to take it off, it's just a mess. That's why I really like the idea of these. Because you just, like I said, you can push them down, and you can align them wherever you want them. Push them down in the corner so it can't, and they push in easy, and they stay in. So I'll just go right down the row like that. And put this one right here. And I'll be done. And then I'll take and I'll open those up for them. And then tonight, late tonight or very early in the morning, because right now it's really warm out. It's July 25th here in Ohio. We're upper 80s, low 90s, very humid out. So the bees, even in the evening, just seeing a lot of them staying out here on the landing board, and they're cleaning and they're just hanging out because it's warm in there. So they're not all completely going in till late at night or wee hours of the morning. So, and that's when I'll want to close this, and I could close it and lose a few bees, but it doesn't matter to me. So I'll close this up and take them over to Dad's. We're going to let them sit there for 2 to 3 weeks while the soybeans are in bloom. And then we're going to bring them back here and put them in their final location. Both of these hives are not in their final location right now, and they need to be moved away 3 miles or more. The rule is 3 feet or 3 miles. Basically, they say if you're going to move your bees, either move them 3 feet or you move them 3 miles, nothing in between. Reason being, you move more than 3 feet, they're used to coming there. They've got their pattern. They're going to come back. They come out, they come back. Where's their hive at? Same thing. If you move them, in our case, we've got one in the backyard where we've got a swarm out of. You got a video there. We can link to that video where we got a swarm out of one of our walnut trees earlier this year. Well, we left the hive down there, and I've left them there ever since. They've been doing really good. This is a swarm. I believe we have a video on that too. We can link to. We got this one, the bigger one. We got a swarm here in July, first week of July, and it's a very strong swarm, and it's doing really well. It filled up. They had a lot of honey in their bellies. It filled up a 10 frame deep within days of getting in there. They filled it up completely with honey. I had to put another super on so they could start making brood. So I don't want to leave that one there. That's going to go back in the back of our property where we got the other hives. Now you can, if you don't want to, if you don't have a place to move them, and And like I said, this for us, it works out great because I want to take a couple hives to my dad's anyways. He's got 3 bean fields. If there's no bees out there, let them forage. From what I've read, they like the soybeans. I haven't really studied them or watched them. We had alfalfa out there last few years, which they really love, but we're going to take them out for the soybeans for 2 to 3 weeks. Then we'll bring them back here and have them set in their final spot for goldenrod. But now you can, it's about orientation. If you want to move a hive, you can move it at night, and put brush in front of it. Okay, make it hard for them. Just stack some brush in front of it. Make it hard when they come out. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? Now they're going to pay attention to where they're at. They're going to fly around. They're going to check it out, and they're going to get reoriented before they take off. If you took a hive facing south and you move it 100 yards somewhere else facing south, you're probably going to lose a lot of bees. They're going to keep coming back to where they were. So that's your options. You want to just make sure they reorient. But this is what we're going to do. And then again, like I said, this fall, if I see any robber activity, I see yellow jackets snooping around, then I'm going to start closing some of these up. On the hives that are weaker. This hives, I don't think we're going to have any problems with either of these hives. They're very strong. I don't think we're going to have any problems. We do have 2 other hives that there were swarms we got earlier in the year, and they've just been very slow. Must be older queens, but I'm concerned they may be candidates for being robbed this fall, so I'm going to do the same thing to those 2. And then we've got a Russian hive that we have no worries about. I can't even get 10 foot within it. I got a couple graphs around that, and just looking at those graphs, mind my own business. Here they come. So I don't mind that. I really don't. They're not where they're going to hurt anybody. I tried Russian bees for different reasons. You can look them up, and they started out slow, but they're moving like gangbusters now. They're building comb, they're building brood, they're bringing in a lot of nectar and pollen, so they're doing really good, but they're very aggressive. I read that your Caucasian, your honeybees, the ones you typically get, bee packages, they're on a scale of 1 to 10, they're about rated at a 3 of aggression. They said that the Russian honeybees, their aggression on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 7, and they're not kidding. From day one, they've been aggressive. It's hard to get near that hive without them bumping you or stinging you. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helps somebody out. We're always learning. We're always sharing. So hopefully this helps somebody else out. Thanks.